Everyone is fighting with each other for local power, and it's anybody's game. Knock knock, it's Europe. No, they're not here to take over. They just want to sell some shit, like clocks, and guns, and Jesus. So that's cool, but everyone's still fighting each other for control, now with guns. And wouldn't it be nice to control the capital, which right now is puppets, with no one controlling them? This clan is ready to make a run for it, but first they have to trample this smaller clan, which is in the way. Surprise, the smaller clan wins, and the leader of that clan steals the idea of invading the capital and invades the capital. And it goes very well. He's about halfway through conquering Japan when someone who works for him kills him, and then someone else who works for him kills them, and that guy finishes conquering Japan. And then he confiscated everybody's swords, and made some rules. And now I'm going to invade Korea, and then hopefully China, he said, and failed, and also died. But before he died, he told these 5 guys to take care of his 5-year-old son until he's old enough to be the next ruler of Japan. And the 5 guys said, yeah, right, it's not going to be this kid, it's going to be one of us, because we're grown-ups. And it's probably going to be this guy, who happens to be way more rich and powerful than the others. A lot of people support him, but a lot of people support not supporting him. They have a fight, and he wins, and starts a new government, right here.
Out of this turmoil, in 1568, a samurai chieftain of modest beginnings emerged. His name was Oda Nobunaga, and he would attempt to turn the country around. Nobunaga hailed from a small rural fiefdom, but his outstanding military skills soon gained him many allies and brought him to prominence. He was an ambitious man, so much so that he dreamed of ruling the entire country. Indeed, the motto on his seal was to bring the whole country under one sword, and he didn't plan to do it by relying solely on military might. He started with a more subtle means, arranged marriages. Nobunaga married himself and 2 of his immediate family to members of other powerful clans. These unions established a formidable power base. He then began the process of intimidating other warlords to join with him. Those who refused his overtures, he fought, using every means at his disposal, including the latest tools of destruction, firearms. The first firearms were introduced to Japan in 1543, when a Chinese junk was blown off course and landed on a Japanese island. On board were 3 Portuguese travelers. Each of these Westerners carried a gun, a matchlock musket. When one of the Portuguese shot a duck, the daimyo in the region became fascinated with the weapons and purchased all 3 of them. He then ordered his chief metalworker to copy them. Guns soon spread throughout the land. Many samurai resisted their use, a decision they would later regret.
The introduction of the matchlock musket transforms warfare in Japan. And the warriors who adopt it quickly decimate the warlords who don't adopt it, or don't adopt it as well.
Oda Nobunaga welcomed the new weapons with open arms and mastered their use in battle. At the height of his power, he incorporated a force of at least 3,000 gunners into his vast armies. In a famous battle near Nagashino Castle in 1575, he formed at least 1,500 gunners into 3 ranks behind pickets. He ordered them to fire in volleys, one rank moving up to fire, while another rank reloaded. With this tactic, the gunners held off a force many times their size.
If you use them correctly, you can destroy mounted cavalry. Mounted cavalry at this point being mostly archers. These are the battles that decide the balance of power in the late 1500s in Japan.
But despite Oda Nobunaga's formidable political and military prowess, he would never live to see a united Japan. Like so many of history's most ambitious men, Nobunaga was assassinated before he had fully achieved his dream. Cut down in 1582 by one of his own disgruntled generals. The exact motive behind the killing is unclear, but it is thought the angry general felt he had not been properly rewarded for his services.
The Jesuits spread all over Asia, especially into Japan, where they infiltrated themselves into the samurai culture and formed an alliance with one of Japan's dictators, the shogun Oda Nobunaga. Many of these Jesuits were welcomed into the courts, for they were gifted and skilled at the sciences, but that was a wedge to control the culture in Asia. But many Japanese leaders caught wind of the Jesuit agenda, and they knew it was not to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ, but it was an agenda of papal-led Western imperialism, and many of the Jesuits were massacred in record numbers by the samurai culture of Japan. Today the Jesuits call these men martyrs, but secular writer Avram Manhattan, unlike most secular sympathetic papal apologists, knew exactly why the Japanese beheaded and expelled the Jesuits from their islands, and he gave the true historical account of what really took place. Manhattan said the Jesuits were determined to plant the spiritual and cultural power of the church in Southeast Asia. They attempted with varied success to influence the cultural and political top echelons of society. These missionaries found a powerful protector in Nobunaga, the military dictator of Japan. Japanese civil rulers began to realize that the Catholic Church was not only a religion, but a political power intimately connected with the imperialist expansion of Catholic countries like Portugal, Spain, and other Western nations. Whenever Japanese Catholics formed a majority, the Buddhists and members of other local faiths suffered. Not only were they boycotted, but their temples were closed, and when not destroyed, were seized and converted into churches. In 1587, Hideyoshi visited Kyushu, and to his astonishment found that the Catholic community had carried out the most appalling religious persecution. Everywhere he saw the ruins of Buddhist temples and broken Buddhist idols. The Catholics, in fact, had forcibly attempted to make the whole island of Kyushu totally Catholic.